My name is Leonard and I'm 27 years old. I've been dealing with schizophrenia since my late teens and mental health challenges since I was about 13 years old. It initially started with anxiety and depression. My doctors warned me that those could be precursors to another illness, namely schizophrenia, as it runs in my family. I had two uncles with schizophrenia, one who currently lives long-term in a hospital, the other who died by suicide when I was a boy. I used to be a gifted child, athletic as well. I played competitive sports, including basketball, soccer, long-distance running. Schizophrenia took that from me. Mental illness took that from me. Schizophrenia really is a thief. It robbed me of many years of my life. In order to deal with symptoms on top of teenage hormones and angst, I turned to drugs and alcohol. Over the last 2 years, I've been sober, which took some work, but I am very thankful to have that accomplishment under my belt. I also take my medication on a daily basis, which allows me to keep my illness in check. As a result, I've been able to go through the Algonquin College Public Relations program and am currently interning at the Canadian Mental Health Association, doing public relations work for them. It feels good to be getting my life back on track and to be getting back what schizophrenia has stolen from me. It's not easy in this world trusting other people sometimes. It's even harder, in my experience at least, when you can't trust your own thoughts and whether or not they are the truth. Thankfully though, with medication, I'm generally able to discern the thoughts I have that are incorrect or distorted, so to speak, and brush them aside. Thanks to years of psychotherapy, including cognitive behavior therapy or CBT, as well as the medication that I take on a daily basis, most of my symptoms now in regards to schizophrenia are only attenuated. Attenuated psychosis is a thought that, if believed, would be a break from reality, a true psychotic break. However, the attenuated portion means there's no conviction. You don't truly believe, for instance, that your girlfriend is trying to murder you. You don't really believe, for instance, that you are being spied on by the government. You might have the thoughts, but there's no conviction. And thankfully, with the medication and the years of psychotherapy that I have taken, including cognitive behavior therapy, more often than not, 95% of the time, when my paranoia spikes or my delusions spike, it's only attenuated, thankfully. And that's also in no small part due to maintaining my sobriety. Maintaining my sobriety has been instrumental in my ability to regain my life. Schizophrenia is a very complex illness. It varies not only in symptoms present, but the severity of those symptoms as well. Thankfully, I've only dealt with paranoia and delusions, and not auditory or visual hallucinations. Which isn't to say that it's been easy for me. It's taken a lot of work to get to where I am now, but there's always hope. A diagnosis of schizophrenia is not a death sentence and does not mean that you'll have to spend the rest of your life in a hospital. With proper treatment and medication, people with schizophrenia can live long, fulfilling lives. Dying by suicide or attempting suicide amongst people with schizophrenia is unfortunately quite high when compared to that of the general populace. Having lived with schizophrenia, I can understand why. Just over 2 years ago, almost 3 now, I got this tattoo, if I may. This piece here, which symbolizes the fact that I am grounded to this earth and I will never attempt suicide again. I personally couldn't imagine putting my friends and family through that. Which isn't to say that I don't have suicidal ideation or paranoid ideation or anxiety, or that it isn't a struggle. But life is good, you know, with medication, with treatment, with friends, family, my girlfriend, you know, life is enjoyable, and I certainly don't want to leave on my own accord. Upon hearing your diagnosis of schizophrenia, it may initially seem like life is over. Believe me, I get that better than most. But I'm also here to tell you that with proper treatment, there is hope. I've put in the work, I've taken the medication, I got sober, and now I can enjoy life again. And you can too. For friends and family members, anyone, because it impacts so many Canadians, the best thing you can do is educate yourself about the illness and dispel common misconceptions about it so that people struggling with the illness can feel more comfortable stepping forward and talking about what they're experiencing without feeling the wrath of the stigma associated with schizophrenia.